Karen Cooper. I'm legal counsel with Drake Aptwitzer LLP. I specialize in charities and not-for-profit law, and I'm also a tax lawyer. And I also teach at the University of Ottawa, once again teaching the law of charities and not-for-profits and first-year tax. So from a tax perspective, charities and not-for-profit organizations are exempt from income tax. And so they're a particular type of organization from a tax perspective, and they're very different organizations from a tax perspective. A nonprofit organization isn't required to pay tax on its income, with some minor exceptions. Charities aren't required to pay tax on their income, but they also have the capacity to issue donation tax receipts. So people who give to registered charities are entitled to a tax credit, or if it's a corporation, a deduction for the amount they give if they've received an official donation tax receipt in return. So that's the main difference between charities and nonprofits. Sometimes people get confused because they're both considered not-for-profit corporations from a corporate law perspective. So they're different from a tax perspective. They're likely organized in the same way from a corporate law perspective. You know, in my view, and certainly when I'm speaking to organizations that are considering how they want to structure themselves, I caution them quite carefully about whether or not they want to become a registered charity, because once you're a registered charity, yes, you have the advantage of being able to issue these official donation tax receipts that folks can use for their own tax purposes, but along with that comes fairly extensive regulation. As a registered charity, you're required to file an annual return that asks all kinds of questions. You're more or less required to have audited financial statements, so it requires a fair degree of compliance, you know, and paperwork that you have to keep. You're limited in the kinds of activities you can engage in as well. So you're only able to carry on related business. So that limits the kinds of income generating activities you can engage in over and above simply accumulating income through donations. You're also limited in the amount of political activities that you can engage in. Registered charities have fairly strict restrictions on them in terms of the amount of advocacy that they can do. And so once you've been registered as a charity, you have to be careful about what you say.